Hello, welcome. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to today's session of Leadership Advantage Live with me. If you are joining, please, or as you are joining, please help me share, like, subscribe. As you are joining, help me subscribe. Help me subscribe as you join. Subscribe, like, share to other people to be a part of this as well. Subscribe and share for others to be a part of this as well. Subscribe and share for others to be a part of this as well. All right, so the conversation this evening is is about right, the conversation this evening is about how to discover your purpose. How to discover your purpose. Please, if you join, help me share, subscribe to the channel if you have not if it's your first time join me, please subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, drop a share, and let's see how we go from there. All right. So my conversation this evening is about how to discover your purpose. But really, um, one of the most interesting things I'm going to be sharing um, will be around for so many people, maybe first time you are going to be encountering this type of um, discussion around the idea of purpose. All right, so we're taking a very unique path to the conversation of purpose, and we'll be seeing where we go from there. All right. So again, subscribe, like, share, comment, just engage with the content. Let's see how much you appreciate what we are sharing and doing. The idea and the conversation of purpose is not a new conversation, right? It's not. It's not a new conversation. It's an age-long conversation around finding meaning and finding relevance and you know doing doing what God has called you to do. Destiny and discovering who you are. So it's a long age conversation. It's a conversation that's been around for a long time, and um, I find it very interesting that I'm having this kind of conversation today. You know why? Because we're now in a high frequency, fast paced time in the world where it seems like conversation like vision and purpose and things like that have become backburner conversation, right? And if you are not discussing things like how to make money, rightly so. Yes, if on the online digital space, that's one of the things that drive conversation and drive traffic. So it's interesting that my deep in my heart, I feel a need to have this conversation around this kind of things. So, because it's easy to get lost into this world now, to miss the point into this world, right? To get lost in all of the actions and activities that you know drive how we experience the world. So this is to get lost. So this kind of conversation seems to bring everything back to the ground and trying to refresh energy around what is true and what truly matters. So that's one of the reasons why I'm having this conversation, because it's easy to get lost right now into this world. Very, very easy to get lost. Very, very easy to get lost into this world. So, all right. There's so many things I want to really share around the idea of purpose. So many things, right? So many things. I actually made a note, and it's been a while I've actually spoken with a note. but I just didn't want to make sure I don't forget anything, right? So let's discuss the basics. Let's discuss the basics. What is purpose? What really is purpose? What is purpose? What really is purpose? What's how do we define at the core of it? How do we define what is purpose at the core? What's the so it's purpose? You know, purpose is the intended function of a thing derived from its designer. The purpose of a thing is the intended function of the thing, the why of a thing. It conceptualizes the intent in the heart of the person or people who created the thing, right? Um, and that's the primary definition. But it carries a lot of weight. It carries a lot of depth. That definition. It carries a lot of weight. It carries a lot of depth. That the purpose of a thing was the intended function of the person who created it. So you will find that the purpose of a phone is essentially to connect people. But it has, that word connect people never used to exist as something that has multiple meaning. It always just used to be about actually connecting people through making phone calls, right? So when the phone was invented many years ago, it was about in place A and make voice calls across a distance to point B. The person who invented the phone, if he wakes up in 2026, he will be shocked. Now he might have been a person of foresight. I might have seen bits and pieces of the possibilities of that mobile technology. But if the person that invented the phone wakes up in 2026, he will be bamboozled at what it has evolved to. And that is one of the key things that I want to share about evolution of the concept of purpose. The evolution of it, right? So a phone was designed to connect people, and it has evolved into a thing where it's like it has now become a place where we all live our lives. All right, it controls a lot of our lives. It controls our dates, our time. Many people just even forget about wristwatches because there's a clock on their phone. They can take pictures, they can record moments, they can do so many things on the phone right now that it essentially diverts or differs from how and what the phone was quote unquote designed to do at its inception. So, how does that apply into the concept of purpose? We'll get to it. But primarily, the definition of purpose is that it's the intended function a thing or a person or an object was created or designed to do, to accomplish. That's the primary definition of purpose. All right. And then, if you then want to narrow this thing and bring it down, you want to ask yourself, does a human being have a defined purpose? Does a human being have a defined purpose? Does a human being have a defined purpose? That's a very big question to answer. And does he have one defined purpose? Is there a singularity to what a human being was created and designed to do? Is there a singularity? Is there like a one-liner that captures the total essence of what a human being was designed or was created to do? And that is the evolution of this idea of purpose that I want to present to you, right? Because is there a one liner? Is there like a one thing that a person was created to achieve on this earth? Like God designed a person and said, you know what? One line, you are a pastor, you are a mechanical engineer. And when God was designing, was giving birth or was creating a person, was there a predestination or a predetermined one line or one thing that the person was designed to be? I don't believe so. I don't think so. By that assumption, I don't think there's a one specific thing that the person was born, created, or designed to do. Otherwise, the human experience will not have these multi layers of functions and multi layers of experiences tied into one person's existence. There are too many aspects of it. There are too many multifaceted aspects of the human experience that you cannot then zero in as that God has created one person to do one thing in that sense. Now, there might be hierarchy of things that the person can do or was born to do in a sense. But I just don't agree anymore with that concept that the person was created to do one thing. Life has shown from how life has evolved, from how people manufacture things and how people create things. And you have to interconnect so many things into one product or one element or one system so that you can get more out of that thing. And I feel like there was a time in our human evolution and human learning where you can say something like that and you can get away with it, where you can say where a person has one thing is called to do, or a person has a specific thing that is called to do, and if he misses that thing and that's it. And I can see how that works when you say it out loud. But I'm making a presentation to you. I'm saying nobody was created to do one particular thing, because if you are born a male, you are created to be a man, you are created to be a son, you are created